This is The Countdown, discussing tomorrow's news today as our top guests tackle the issues that matter with a sharp take on every story.
And now, here is your host, Andrew Weeds.
A very good morning to you and welcome to another edition of The Countdown. My name is Andrew Weeds. I'm so glad that you could join us this morning. It is Sunday, the 16th of November, and we are going to be having a great discussion this morning. I have three MPs from the We Invest in Nationhood party with us this morning. MP Tabitha Haley, MP Natasha Singh Lewis, and MP Dawn Hastings Williams with us this morning. And we're going to have a powerful discussion. We've been discussing matters of national importance, and so share the link. Pass the feed around, tell your friend, tell your neighbor that The Countdown is on the air and we are going to be having a great time. I am so excited about this discussion this morning because I know it is the first time we are having a win on The Countdown, and I tell you, it's not going to be the last. We're going to have them on many occasions coming on one by one. And so I'm very happy to have these three beautiful young ladies on the show this morning. And they are a makeup of what this country is all about. Six races, right? They are a makeup of that. And so I want to thank all of you for joining us this morning on The Countdown. Well, let me introduce them to you. First up, we have Tabitha Haley, MP Tabitha. Welcome to The Countdown for the first time.
Good morning, and good morning to your viewers. It's good to be here, and I'm ready to and daring to go into the conversation that we have this morning, and hope at the end of it the viewers will be more informed about WIN and what our agenda is and how we intend to push for and represent the people in this 13th Parliament. That's
right. That's Tabitha Haley there for you. Thank you so much, Tabitha. And we're going to bring up now our next guest, and this young lady, you know, in the 12th Parliament, she was like a fireball. You know, she didn't waste no time with the PPP. She ensured that she put them in the place when they come in the nonsense. And so that person is Natasha Singh Lewis. Natasha, good morning. It's glad to have you on The Countdown.
Hi, Andrew. Thank you, and good and your viewers. Thank you for having me on The Countdown. I believe this is the first time I am on The Countdown. So thank you for having me and for having We Invest in Nationhood on your Countdown show. I am very excited to get going. You know, we would have recently been into the 13th Parliament, and we certainly do, as a political party, we have a packed role.
And that's Natasha Singh Lewis there for you, telling us that she is going to have a great time for the people of Guyana in the 13th Parliament. Thank you, Natasha. And last but not in no way least, this MP could also be a fireball in her own right. I remember her in the 10th Parliament, I think the 10th or the 11th Parliament. Yes, she was and still continue to be the surprise, one of the surprise MPs when it comes to debates. She is knocked out of the park. I'm talking about MP Dawn Hastings Williams, former minister she was the minister in the office of the president in the coalition government. Former minister and MP Dawn Hastings, good morning. Welcome to The Countdown.
Good morning, Andrew. Good morning, colleagues. Good morning, everyone. And thank you for the compliment, Andrew. And of course, like my other colleagues. I'm happy to be on your program this morning and thankful to God for life spared and for granting me yet another opportunity to be sitting in the 13th Parliament and along with my colleagues. Also, thank you to the people who allowed us and granted us the opportunity to become members of Parliament to represent them.
Thank you so much, MP Dawn Williams. And now, ladies and gentlemen, if you just join us, this is the countdown, and we're having 3 WIN MPs on the show this morning. And if you just join us, just spread the word, call up a friend, tell them that the countdown is on the air, and we're going to be having a discussion. I'm going to bring right up our first discussion with question rather with Natasha. Natasha, I'm going to bring you up first. Now, we're going to discuss some parliamentary politics right now, right? Okay. So now, has the WIN party finalized its shadow minister portfolio? And was there any discussion with the other opposition parties on who will be shadowing which ministries and what ministry, or should I say, what ministries the 3 of you, Dawn and Natasha, will be shadowing coming up? That's my first question to you at this time. Go ahead.
So thank you for that question, Andrew. First of all, we would not be shadowing in the National Assembly. We will be taking responsibilities for portfolio in the National Assembly. To answer your question directly, yes, WIN from the get-go, we have been meeting with our members of Parliament. You will know, and the general public might know by now, that of the 16 members of Parliament, we have 13 new members of Parliament, meaning this is their first time in Parliament. Myself, Miss Sarabu Haley, and Mrs. Dawn Hastings Williams are returning. Miss Dawn would have been in the 11th, 12th, and now in the 13th. I think she was in the 10th too. And Mrs. Haley would have been in the 11th, 12th, and now in the 13th. So we do bring some amount of experience. And to answer your question directly, yes, we have met and we have talked about responsibilities. But you know that there are, I believe, 3 ministries, and there are 16 of us, and there is a lot of work to do. And we have started to do our training. We've started to look at the 2025 budget to have a better understanding. We've started to look at the mid-year review. And of course, we have been doing our community work. So as an approach, we have a better understanding, training first, and then getting out into the next Parliament whenever the next sitting is.
Right. And which ministry are you going to be taking up the responsibility for? I know the last Parliament you were, I think, social services, was it? Was it social services?
Yes.
Right.
So in the last Parliament, Andrew, I had responsibilities at different times for 2 ministries. At one time, it was social services, and the other, it was education. So actually, those 2 areas span my background, education and social services.
So you're back there again in the 13th Parliament.
With my experience and training, education, I can take on many roles.
Good, I know. Exactly. Thank you. Thank you so much, Natasha. Let's go to Tabitha. You could explain to us in terms of which ministry you're going to be shadowing. I'm not sure, but you may be able to tell us exactly the ministry that you're going to be shadowing at this time. Tabitha, MP.
Hi, again, Drew. Good morning again to the viewers. As Natasha, my colleague, rightfully said, we have 16 MPs, and we're all working to take responsibility of all of the ministries that are currently in existence. They've grown over the last couple of months. I think we have 24 now, if I'm correct. And our MPs are ready and raring to look over all of those ministries and see where the issues are and bring those issues to the fore. So I would not say at this time which one that I will be looking at. I think at this stage we're all looking at all of the ministries, and we will be bringing to the people all of the issues that would arise from ministry to ministry at this juncture.
Yeah, I know in the 12th Parliament you were shadowing social services, and I think something else. Or was that the only ministry alone that you were shadowing at the time?
I was shadowing public service.
Public service. That's right.
Service. That's
right.
Yes. But
yes,
we're not in WIN is not we're not shadowing in WIN.
Well, I have to learn this. We are not shadowing anybody. You're taking responsibilities.
Yes, because I want persons to understand something, and I think what we in WIN would like to do, and it's our intention to do, is to stick to what the standing order says. And as far as we're aware, there's no place in the standing orders or in our constitution that speaks to shadowing of any ministry. Our legislative framework does not allow for shadowing as it would in other jurisdictions. And so using that term is not quite the right term to use in our context. And so we are not shadowing any ministry. We'll be taking responsibilities for various ministries, and the MPs are getting themselves ready to do so when the time comes.
Thank you. Dawn, you want to jump in and give a comment here as to your experience as a minister, former minister? You were also part of the 10th, 11th, 12th Parliament, I think. You were shadowing, you're minister then. You were, doing a part of those roles. But this time around, I'm not sure your colleagues are trying to get us to understand that they're not going to be shadowing any ministry. They're taking responsibility for certain ministries. And I think I might have lost Dawn. I'm not seeing her anymore. But we're going to get back to Dawn in a moment. But Natasha, I want to jump back to you as well. Another question I want to jump into, you both, you and Tabby could deal with this as well. We have seen that on the press as well, that APNU has already assigned some of their MPs to monitor a number of ministries, saying it is their right to do so, and that they do not have to wait on the opposition leader to appoint them to any ministry. What are your thoughts on this decision? Because it was kind of a little confusing in the press, in the public eye, is that they would have already appointed themselves ministries. Clear this up for us. Give us your thoughts on your idea on what you think of this, Natasha.
So, Andrew, first of all, the APNU is a political body by themselves, and they are entitled to do what suits them best. They have their own agenda, and they are entitled to do or to put forward their leadership and their agenda the way they see it best. And so I would not want to comment on what they have done. Suffice to say that as an opposition, whatever role we are appointed to, we will have to give of our best to ensure that we keep the PPP in check and accountable to the people of Guyana.
I remember, looking at the house in England there. They call it their parliamentary situation over there, and they have a number of different MPs in different parties, all in the opposition side, and they have their own responsibilities to different areas in the government. You have the Scottish Party, you have the Labour Party, and then you have the other parties, and all of them are part of the opposition, but they also function as one opposition, but they have different roles that they play. And so I understand, you rightfully said that they have their role and responsibilities. I think when I spoke with the leader for the House of the APNU, leader of the APNU, he said was that the opposition leader will have to could only appoint shadow. Well, we don't do with shadow anymore. But he said they will have to deal with ministries that they would want to shadow, and then they can deal with theirs. But anyhow, we get the point that they have their responsibilities as a party in the parliament and so on. At the opening of the 13th Parliament, there was a lot of pomp and ceremony, if you want to call it that. A lot of pomp and ceremony. All right. And according to Village Voice, they argue that when it comes to the election of the deputy speaker, it was a bit of confusion. And according to Village Voice, they argue that this does not really violate the spirit of the Constitution, though the parliamentary convention and it that the deputy speaker should come from the opposition side of the House, even though the Constitution says Article 56 states that the deputy speaker must be elected whenever the office becomes vacant, and that the standing orders requires that the position be filled from among the members of the National Assembly. However, neither document says whether the office must go to the government or the opposition. Tabby, I want to jump to you because this got some explanation to be done here. You were nominated by Win for the deputy speakership. All right. You were nominated by Win for the deputy speakership. There was a vote on the floor, and APNU withheld their vote. I think FGM might have also supported your candidacy for deputy speaker. Is this the beginning of a strained relationship between Win and APNU? What do you believe the APNU? Why do you believe that the AP did not support your candidacy? What went wrong, or is it something? Let's get back to her. I think she has a battery to change. I need to know. We need to know what really went wrong with this nomination, and because only 17, ladies and gentlemen, only 17 persons supported the candidacy for Tabitha to be the deputy speaker. The APNU abstained, withheld, pull away, move away, turn their backs, if you want to say that, from giving the vote to Tabitha. I will ask Natasha to jump in here as we wait on Tabitha to come back to us.
Miss Cleon.
Tabitha, are you back? I think she might be back. I'm not sure. She's not back as yet. Yeah. There were some little confusion going on there. MP Natasha. What was the problem? If you want to put it that way, what went wrong? Why didn't APNU give the votes for Tabitha to be the Deputy Speaker?
So, in all that you have said there, Andrew, one, there was no confusion. Two, the APNU, like I said just now, they are a party by themselves and they have a right to do what they want to do. They did not support the Win Party when we nominated someone for the Deputy Speaker. Mrs. Sarabo Haley is somebody who has the experience, who has the knowledge, who has been in politics for quite a long time, fits the criteria for the Deputy Speaker. Only the APNU can tell Guyana why they did not support that nomination. And you're right, they abstained, so they did not support Win. The very first item was the appointment of the Speaker, and then the second item, that of the Deputy Speaker. The second item required a commitment from the opposition. And you know that we have three parties in the opposition right now. And so two parties, FGM, headed by Ms. Amanza Walton this year, and Win supported the nomination for the Deputy Speaker. And Andrew, to be honest, I would be very wrong if I attempt to give an answer on behalf of APNU. I wish not to do that. Secondly, I wish to comment further on the Deputy Speaker issue. This is typical PPP bullyism. Typical. On the nomination, on the floor, as soon as the Speaker was in place and ready to take the nomination for the Deputy Speaker, Mark Phillips, no less of a person, Mark Phillips, stood up to nominate a doctor. I'll just leave it at that. I promise myself that I will be a better person